happy, really happy to be with you, with you, with you. Happy, really happy to be with you, with you, with you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the NFT morning. Super excited to be with you this morning on November 12th. As you can hear, we are in English today because we have the chance to have a lot of super interesting guests. And actually, this is our last episode that we are recording for Paris Photo. As a reminder, actually, basically, Paris Photo, is starting exactly today, especially for VIPs, and it will run all along the week until November 16. And we had the chance to, thanks to Nina Roers and thanks to the curation she's doing for the digital sector for the third year in a row, to get most of the galleries, who are exhibiting at Paris Photo. And today, it's a very, very special project because it's not technically just a gallery. It's a bit more. Actually, it's an initiative that is basically, managed by a city, and that have a long story with photography. It's the city of Düsseldorf, and we have the chance to have Stefan Mashak with us this morning from the city of Düsseldorf. Hi, Stefan.
Good morning, John. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, thank you. And you're not alone, Stefan. And we'll talk a bit more, about what Düsseldorf is doing in Paris, for Paris Photo, because you've been helped, for this curation by Kami Cruz. Hey, Kami. Hey, Kim. Sorry.
Hi.
How are you?
Perfect. We're in
Perfect.
Paris.
Fresh. Everybody, for people who watching the video, everybody is live from their hotel in Paris, basically, because most of you moved, I believe, from Germany, but you will confirm for this show, and it's really an honor and a pleasure to have you. And to finish the lineup of guests this morning, we have basically the chance to have the duo of artists, Eda Roman. Eda
Hello.
Roman,
Nice to
how
meet
are
you.
you?
Good. I'm fine. You are fine.
Okay, so super super happy to have all of you this morning, and it's a lot of guests. I think it's interesting because usually we have a lot of galleries coming doing group shows or solo shows about artists. We had a chance actually to have also NGO this year, with the UNICEF, who's doing also a special initiative in Paris Photo. But Stefan, I wanted to understand what the city of Düsseldorf is doing here, basically.
Yeah, that's why we're here. We also try to understand what we are doing. But no, but seriously, I talked about this idea of Paris Photo with Nina Roers a long time ago, or 2 years ago, when I found that Paris Photo has a developing concept, and not only as a fair, but also as an international representation of a dialogue in photography. And I mean, also the ferry is also every ferry is different, and they have a certain kind of new concept, a new idea, and they also try to figure out what the identification of photography is. And I think this would fit quite well in a concept where also a city tries to have a kind of identity with photography to figure out what it is. And so we thought about making a show there that is not commercial, that even there are a lot of galleries, but to join this discourse, this international discourse. And I think Paris is a perfect place to do it because we have an international audience. We have a lot of public interest here from the city and from the people who live here, and also from a lot of people who are very deep into this discourse. So I think this is a perfect platform to try to find out what's the identity of the photographic discourse in Düsseldorf, and to give it a kind of update, because normally Düsseldorf is very strongly connected with Düsseldorf School of Photography, which is based on the class of Bernd Becher or Bernd Hiller Becher, and this was a very important part in history and is still very influential. But we try to figure out what's the state of discourse now, and then that's why we thought about this representation in this
Amazing.
exhibition.
Wow, it's very interesting and very strong. Just to understand, because I'm very curious about this initiative also. So I understand, the link, the photography story, and Düsseldorf. What is what is your mission? What are you doing basically in the city more generally? It's like connected with culture basically.
Well, it's a very new position that I have. I'm working as a cultural office, and they decided along the that we know that the German Institute for Photography will come to Düsseldorf. That we need a position there who is advising the administration in some parts, and the political decision makers what to do, and what could be interesting. So they founded this new position, and I myself have an artistic background. I'm not a scientist or anything like this. So I come from the practice and the practical discourse, and there in the last 4 years we built up this position. What can we do? And in my position, it's called, the German name is Koordinierungsstelle Fotografie, which is coordination, which means basically coordination unit for photography. So my task is more to bring things together, and to that the power or the idea can enhance and can develop. And the city also founded a new commission. It's called Kommission Fotostadt Düsseldorf, which where basically the many people from institutions and advisors from museums and initiatives come together with political decision makers, and they have some financial support, and then they can decide what to support with this financial background. And this is the Paris Photo is one of the first projects they decided to support.
Wow. Okay. So it's very interesting. So I understand also. I will also summarize with my understanding of this. So basically, the city of Düsseldorf, as you mentioned, I have a strong historical story with photography, and thanks to this legacy, basically, a lot of initiative, schools, museums are part of the assets, I would say, of the city. And so you're here also to leverage, coordinate, and make it and communicate also about this kind of about, all the things connected with art photography in Düsseldorf.
Yeah.
And on top of it, now this new commission is like also focused on this kind of initiative. I understand, maybe going to some fairs or going to some financing some special exhibitions. And so this first one, so the story started with Nina, who've been chatting about it, and so if I understand well, then you started a collaboration with you, Kim, who are managing this booth, right?
Yes, yeah. So I'm actually not working for the Cultural Office Düsseldorf, but Stefan was asking me several months ago if we want to curate the booth for Paris Photo together. I'm actually also an artist working with photography, and so studying at the Art Academy in Düsseldorf. But in the beginning of my studies, I also started to work for a gallery, and then also noticed that I'm really interested in this curational topic, and was also starting to curate my own exhibitions, connecting other artists, and just to also connect and be like in dialogue together. And because I was also working already several times at fairs, we thought we were doing that together, and it worked out.
You are doing potentially independent curations for different fairs or artist initiatives, right?
I was working for on the fair for the gallery Karl Wilborn, which is located in Düsseldorf.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Nice. And so this new project, no, I think it's really interesting. So yeah, and so Stefan came to you to start to curate this booth. And so what is the story of the booth? What will be there?
So the thought was that we will handle the selection in a democratical way. So the idea was in general that we ask several curators from institutions in Düsseldorf to give us the selections of artists that represent from their side the current scene of photography in Düsseldorf. So the selection comes from outside. So we didn't choose. We wanted to handle that more democratically than, So we asked more than just us two. And
Wow.
after they
Really,
selected,
it's a lot of effort, because most of sometimes it's much easier to do things by yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many curators has been involved basically?
10.
Okay.
Like 10. Yeah, like from the Kunstsammlung NRW, from Kunstpalast, Julius Storsche collection.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah, and after that selection, we were requesting the portfolios and then went through the portfolios and then chose ourselves like the works, and from those works, we're getting along to the installation plan and the hanging. And because we're actually showing 35 different positions, which is a lot for a fair, you can actually see every day kind of a new exhibition. There are some permanent works that are always there. Like, for example, the work, we're showing 3 works of Hedda Roman, one which will be there from the beginning till the end, but there are a lot that switch during the fair. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. 45 works. Yeah. So what?
No, 50 works. I think it was in total 35 positions, like 35 artists that.
Okay. Wow, this is huge. And what? Like every night you will go back to Paris Photo to change the exhibition, right?
Yeah, it will be. It's tough, but it's worth it because I mean it's hard to represent a photo scene of a city if you, for example, just choose 5 positions.
No.
That
It's huge. It actually it gives also the audience occasions, to come every day. So you know that
and I mean
everybody
there are
is
also a
there.
lot of people that are not only there for just one day, that come back, and so yeah.
Of course. And so, just the name of the exhibition is Düsseldorf and photography, basically. So, it's really like, the story is like to let, I think, if I understand well, it's also like a journey. It's like a journey, through photography at Düsseldorf or photography in Düsseldorf. All along the last, I would say, the last century or something like this, right?
Yeah, Stefan can say more about that. The Cultural Office published a book which is called Düsseldorf and Photography. So we use that name, for the booth as well.
Okay, what is this book? Let me see.
When I started this position, we had to do like to see what is it that the city defines and the connection is with photography. So we made a book in collaboration with other initiatives to see and to do. And we did a lot of interviews and research, and we combined this knowledge that we have to get a kind of idea what it is today, and we did it in a book, and the book is called Düsseldorf and Photography. And you can see it also on our webpage, düsseldorf.de/photography. You can download it as it's a PDF in German and in English. And based on this book, we have new ideas what the content is we are working in. And it's also, and in this book, there are represented the institutions who present photography, artistic works, but also production companies who are very close to this kind of production process, and many others. And this was so this kind of exhibition we're doing now at the fair is based on this idea of the book, and that's also why we invited the curators from institution, because it's very important to understand that the network of photography in Düsseldorf is based on the connection between institutions, artists, curators, collectors, and producers, and this is a very important network that we try to present.
Yeah, and this PDF you were just showing is the booklet we made for the booth itself. So it was important for us also to give out, because it's not that easy also to explain other people, like the public, because like most of the booths are galleries. So yesterday was already a bit funny to explain that we're like a non-commercial booth. So it's nice to have like this booklet. It's for free. Everyone can just like grab it and take it home to also read again what it's about.
It's really impressive because it's how many pages there are in this book? It's a really big one.
140, I think.
Holy wow! Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. When I saw you sent me this book yesterday, I said, "Wow, you did this only for the show, only for the booth." It's an impressive work. So you mentioned, sorry, I don't like 40-ish artists. Sorry, you told me 35 artists exhibited there. The show moving every day with different curations. All the dedicated book to this exhibition, and actually, we have the chance to have two a duo of artists, actually. Hedda Man that we just introduced, that is part of your curation, Kemi, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more?
We're also there for installing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe
Came
Kemi,
straight from their solo exhibition from the Kunstverein Bielefeld, and the finissage was on Sunday, right?
Yes.
Sunday.
okay, busy life. It's good.
Yeah. And two of the works they showed there, we will show at the booth, and one is you can see every day, like which doesn't change. So yeah.
Okay, permanent. One of the permanent works, basically. But maybe you can just introduce, because Kim, it's your curation, and maybe you can just explain who's the duo Eda Roman, and why it's important for you to have them in the curation.
I think for me personal, the two are the best example for digital art in the current like scene of Düsseldorf. And
wow,
yeah.
this is why I ask her to present. It's better because artists
Yeah.
are modest sometimes, and they cannot introduce themselves this way.
I mean, we didn't select you, but it was already for me, like when Stefan was asking me, and he said it's the digital sector. The two were the first ones I was thinking of, so it's a must to show their work. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so maybe I don't know who can start, Eda or Roman. Maybe Eda, if you want, just explain a bit, how you see your artist journey, basically, because it's more than photography. Actually, it's a bit more conceptual.
Yes. Yeah, first of all, thanks for having us, and also thanks to Kim and Stefan. I think so far it was super fun also installing and just being at the Grand Palais. It's like, yeah, super fun. And so yeah, basically, we come from photography. We studied with Andreas Gurski, which is maybe one of the most, dominant position when it comes to photography. It's just since we graduated, to me also intellectually a quite interesting journey to get to the point where we are now. I think given what I would always describe as ultra fluidity in our reality, in good terms and in bad terms, I felt that also as artist, I can best react to this with being also more fluid and like playful in my visual expression. And just naturally, we kind of like dived into this entire thing of machine learning, just because we have this kind of very general idea of that there's always this kind of substance around us, like the nowness of things, and there's always this kind of like potential of new material that just encapsulates us. And I feel like arts can just extract that and find some kind of visual brother and sister to that kind of reality. And like so to me it's an idea of describing some sense of nowness. The work that we're showing at the booth is very fresh. So it's just like right out of the oven, so to speak. They are all produced for the solo show in Bielefeld, and to us it was very important that they are light and foldable and very flexible and soft, and like have also some sort of fragility in them. Yeah, and you just can take them, and the small works you can even just kind of fixate with a little pin. They're really light. And I really like this idea of the mobility of these works also, and also thinking about the processes of production and who has to carry those works and how heavy can they be, and like what as a body, how friendly and how soft are they towards their environment, given also, let's say, the difficulties and complexities of the issues that are dealt with within the image, like when it comes to content. So I wanted to have this kind of contrast of like playfulness, also surrealist references. I love, for example, Meret Oppenheim and like many of the feminine surrealist positions I'm just a huge fan of. And so that kind of just melts together, and still kind of reference to very traditionalist idea of composition and like genres like family picture or family portrait and landscape. And so we just try to do this, to grasp something about this everything everywhere all at once moment that we're living in right now, and
Wow.
try to condense that.
No, I think it's very interesting, and congratulations. It looks amazing, and I can't, I think in real, to see it, in real, it's even. I'm pretty sure it's even more impressive. Actually, I don't know. It's like it's. I'm wondering, when I see your work, also, it's very interesting because it's we are in this phase, or in the AI, at the AI age. We're talking about this post photography era and neo surrealism. I wanted to know how do you see these new AI works that are popping up everywhere?
At the moment I think AI for us at least, it's like a sampling material where the samples are so granular by like this model's actually compressing parts of the known internet, you know, and finding arbitrary functions that are sort of like the grains of semantics of images and the text captions. And with the new models, even the multimodal LLMs, it's even more granular. So you can resynthesize the history of the humankind that is recorded on the internet and via the images. And it's just at the inception. So these models are really fragmented, and they have all this kind of issues and small glitches that become very even finer and finer. So until we cannot recognize, we need other models to recognize this synthesized artifacts. But it's really interesting, just as a sampling material, to resample something that seems familiar but is all new in sort of sense. But and because all of the machine learning at the models at the moment are based on backpropagation and autoregressiveness, so they use they just resample the training data. But we could imagine, and you have one piece at the solo show that is hinting maybe at something that is where the AI art or generative art is leading to this generative art pieces that can generate on the fly new content, and you feel the generative material more. Like at the moment we use it as a like a collage technique, this one piece is an interactive piece where you can use as a visitor like
A typewriter.
the typewriter, and we play with the exhibition is also called Test Time, referencing to the test time compute models that are 1 year old, like the O1 and Gemini 2.5 Pro, like where the models go into this test time compute mode where they actually some sort of reason they in token space. And we also thought like with this tendency of the right-wing autoregressiveness of our society, it was really nice or ironic that these LLMs go into this deliberation mode before they answer. So they inhabit some sort of emancipation that humans are in tendency lacking. But I venture to how to.
No, but maybe to come back to how this kind of also plays comes together in the booth. I think because we saw like the booth when it kind of was finished, and I really like the booth actually because it shows coming back to the idea of playfulness and also even the basic concepts of machine learning, that there's some sort of compression of the idea of photography already going on before AI. And I see many positions on the booth, like with the table and like Alex Grein's work that just goes like, seems to melt just down the corner. And so they're very like, there's this, I think, consciousness of many artists that there is a role in photography, like there's some importance in the basic concept of what photography is, but there's this urge and the need to really kind of just tear it all apart and then doing some, like really going bonkers with like what could photography be. And I really like the booth. So congrats to you, Kim, because I think it kind of represents a little bit of like, at least with the context of Düsseldorf photography, like how there is this consciousness and artists really try to, open up the concept. And I think it's really nicely represented at the booth.
Wow, can't wait to see it. And actually, I think it's a good way also, it's going to the question I wanted to ask, because it's, we're talking a lot about photography, but it's here, the digital sector. And, from what you are talking about, Heda, I see, really this intention of basically, yeah, making the link and showing the natural kind of affiliation between photography and any kind of new digital mediums, basically including AI. Is it part of the story, of the booth, Kim?
Can you repeat again? Sorry.
No, sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to understand, if the idea of the booth was also, yeah, to show the connection, of course, between Düsseldorf and photography, but moreover also between photography and new, basically just new digital mediums like.
Yeah, I would say it's actually, I think, had said really well that the idea was also like to first think like what is actually photography, what are like the basics of this medium, and you can just like see in general, I think in Düsseldorf, that a lot of people that work with photography really want to change something or are eager to to explore what this medium actually can also do or like do more. So of course it's well connected with the digital topic because we're living in a digital world, and yeah, it's you can't think of our world without it. So it just makes sense,
Of
that
course.
it's new, like already like basically melted together.
Yeah, but I think also Eda's and Roman works, it's actually showing brilliantly this also new kind of experimentations, from photography collage to also playing with using everything. I like the fact that you sample, because it's like raw material that we never stop using to
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, I think also that the medium photography is nowadays so much more fluid. It combines also so much more mediums than except of, taking a photo, print it, and frame it. So there's so much more behind it, and also the interest of using other mediums and combine it with photography and look what happens, which is also like Hedda Roma best example for that, I think. Yeah.
Cool. And so
I think Stefan also wanted to say something.
yeah, please. Sorry, Stefan.
No, it's like a very, very perfect summary. I think it's very important to understand the position of Hedda Robin also in context with the other positions, like Hedda also mentioned, that you have to understand we show 35 artists, but every artist has his own approach to photography and his own understanding. And if you go over the ferry, you see there that photography has a lot of identities. And I think in context with, I mean, we're talking not only about photography, we're talking about an art booth. And the artists are working with the medium of photography, and then they take this medium and expand it. And they try to figure out what is the identity of what their position is, and also what the identity of this medium is. So in this dialogue, you see 35 positions with their own unique approach towards this medium. And I think it's very interesting to go into the booth and to compare the different ideas of working with the medium, and also what they're trying. I mean, it's very important to see this. We are talking all the time about the medium. What are the narratives? What are they telling us, and what are they trying to get a point on, and what the experience is, and everything. And this whole we did not talk about the unique positions as the narratives of the works, because this would maybe expand this format a little bit too much. But you have to go there
I
and
would
see
love
it and
to,
experience it.
we could
And
do
it's
Yeah.
very
35. We could do
and
35 episodes, basically.
and I think it's very important to see Hedda Roman's work in connection with Alex Grein's work or Julius Brockmann's work, and also Julius
Klaus
Brockmann with
Oettinger.
Sebastian Riemann, Klaus Oettinger, and all Christopher Williams and Johannes Reimann, and on and on. And then you get an idea.
I see. I see. Maybe there is, actually, as you started, Stefan, maybe there is like, of course, we cannot mention all of them, but, one narratives that talks to you, that illustrate also what you're talking about, belong one of the artists exhibited, basically?
Well, this is something I really would like to avoid because it is we are doing a representing of the discourse, and the discourse happens between different forms, like different energies and different things. And then you find the energy that comes up, and then you have, I think I would like to see the booth as a whole thing, and everything is equally important. It just behaves different towards each other, and then there's a connection that's come. So maybe when I go to the booth and on this day I found this work very interesting, on the next day I found this work very interesting, because it depends on what my position is and what the feelings and the thing is I'm thinking about, and what my connection is and my identity is. And it is a representation of the diversity of identity, what with a certain kind of working tools, and this working tools is based in artistic practice.
I see. And thank you for this. Kim, you wanted to complete, no?
No. But I was just when I listened, also Stefan and I were also repeating this a lot of times, that we see like the people we're showing, that they're not photographers, they're all artists. They would say that from themselves. They're artists that work with the medium photography,
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and
Yeah,
there's a big difference, I think, so it's not it's that way.
yeah,
And I think that's also really important. If you go there, you can feel that and you can see that. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. No, I can't wait to see it, and I think it's really interesting. I had to talk about it also because this show is called NFT Morning, and it's a non-commercial booth, so I think it's interesting also. So all the works exhibited are belonging. I believe it's a mix of belonging to museums, private collections. Uh, and what is so two things, basically. One, maybe for you first, Stefan. You've been following this, what's going on, with your artist also and art curation background. What's been going on with NFTs? Are you interested by that?
I mean, sure, it's a form of when we talk about this connection between photography and all different digital identities. And photography brings it on in the art. If you choose to have photography, there are many artists are also reflecting the medium. And if you go into a digital form and identity, and then it gets a different complexity, and you have to try to dive into it and to understand it, and to get like kind of reverb from it. And it's a very important. It's like the same. I don't I don't see it like the timeline of photography is parallel somewhere somehow. So there's not, the analog is the past, and then there's the future, and it's into blockchain, NFT identity, or whatever. So there are many identities in the same time. I think this is my understanding of this photography level. And you have to get into every identity to understand the whole complexity of the medium, and also the possibilities it brings to you when it's in the end. Then I can maybe go back. It's about a narrative or a story you want to tell to the people, and sometimes it's the identity that fits you the most for this narration. So this is it. Always it depends in the end what you in your artistic position want to achieve. So you have to
Of
choose
course, yeah,
about
it
this.
depends on your journey. And actually, I think, Roman, it actually, so far you haven't, maybe I'm wrong, but I think I didn't see any of your work so far, interacting with NFTs or the blockchain. Is it
Yeah.
something you've been investigating so far?
We looked into it, and I think we followed the processes, like what happened also news-wise and how it was perceived and dealt with and all of this. So I think it will stay an interesting and relevant topic. ourselves, we had not yet like also the time and chance to kind of maybe connect our
No, of
works.
course. And I think it's also exactly illustrating what Stefan was talking about. You know, it needs to be your story with your narrative and your moment to do something that makes sense
But
and
it
that is
might be,
consistent.
yeah, it might be interesting in the future to think about NFTs as something like a healthy license of like, because we were also talking about with Kim and Stefan and other people before that it will be harder and harder in the future, especially when it comes to the digital reality, to decipher what is actually true or what is false, and the originality of what you see. And so interestingly, I think that all kind of ways of photography will stay relevant, and all experimentation with photography will be important, because I think people will always appreciate also the real image and the analog photography, for example. And so I think it's a good thing that besides all threatening aspects of AI technology, it also makes all the other mediums all the more relevant instead of threatening them. I think they just will be even more important. And NFTs maybe can help in the future to kind of, when it comes to the digital representation of those true objects, to really help decipher that this object is actually, you know, the original one. And so it will have maybe this very concrete function. That in that case, I would be interested in NFT.
It's a smart contract and it's very useful, but at the moment, I think it came too quickly, and now it has to balance it out, so that or maybe the label NFT has to be like we found a new label, and like, because the smart contract, as Heather said, is super useful, especially for performance artists or for artists that use this kind of ephemeral materials, and to find a way to trace provenance, and also to get like that the artist, if their work is sold in a secondary market, that they are also part of the art and they can also trace to collectors. And so it could be super useful, but it's like the Wild West at the moment. So there are so many players, but we are super interested in it. But
Yeah, that's interesting. But I think also when you will visit the other booths at Paris Photo, you will see, you know, many artists using this now more part of their artist journey, and it's a bit more organized than it used to be 2 or 3 years ago. So I think it's and I think, Kim, you wanted to say something also. Sorry.
No, I'm fine. But it was just interesting what Roman said with the Wild West, because I think always when there's like this new topic, we first need this time. Like it's just there all of a sudden, but we actually need this kind of time to understand what it is and also learn how to use specific tools. So I think that's actually a good wording for like the Wild West, because I think it's still a Wild West. Like it's still like there are just like so many possibilities, and also to understand like how should you like yourself like use it in that way that you're also fine with it, you know, and think that's it, that's what I want with this tool. So
Okay, super cool. No, that's very interesting, and I think you know, actually we saw that, you know, and I really recommend you also to listen all the episode that we will publish for digital sector at Paris Photo, because you have a lot of different still experimentations playing with the blockchain medium there with different artists. That it's like photography actually, you know, they are not NFTers or blockchainers or whatever. They just at the moment use it for some reason that is helping their narrative, and that's of course, you know, just the beginning of the story. But I think it's very interesting, and I really also can't wait to see your booth at Paris Photo. I wanted to know, because it's not a commercial booth, what is the best way for people to, of course, you know, Eda, Roman, follow you, and you know, also would share, if you allow this, you know, the book of your solo show exhibition also. I wanted to know, what is for people who are interested by Düsseldorf's initiatives, what is the best way to interact with the initiative, Stefan?
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram and check out our website. That it's a link to the Instagram Düsseldorf und Fotografie, which is a German word for Düsseldorf and photography. And you also can write me. You find every information there on the website. Get in contact. You can get our newsletter. It's basically in German, and but there gives you a very we try to get it out every month, so you get an overview about the what's happening in Düsseldorf, and also which artists from Düsseldorf or in connection in Düsseldorf exhibiting worldwide. So we try to keep an update
Awesome.
and about this. So
Isn't there
so-
also the PDF online from the book Düsseldorf and Photography? Is it online?
yeah,
You can
yeah, it's
download.
also on the website. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll be happy to share that with you. And so today we are in Paris. Do you already have an idea, Stefan, about the next initiative? That will be supported by Düsseldorf City.
We for now we are there will be some initiatives that is coming up. There will be the German Youth Photo Prize, things like this will be sponsored by it, which will happen in Düsseldorf. So to think about a generation that is just exploring the medium, and to that we try to support this, and visual knowledge is also very important. Education, we will finance a project that deals with the education in the visual context on schools, and to think about photography in this way. And also future projects will come, but they are not decided yet, and we will see after Paris Photo what will happen, and then we will continue. And for now we are here, and we are having this is the first day. Today we start with the VIP day, and tomorrow the official way starts. And I think we can, when the fair has its end, and we will come back with many ideas.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure you will meet a lot of people, and it will bring you to much more initiatives. So, no, really, congratulations. Can't wait to see the booth. Really wanted to thank you for being there this morning, especially because no, it's exactly the moment to finish, actually, because everybody will need to go to the fair. So just wanted first, to thank you, Eda and Roman, for being with us this morning. Congratulations, the work, for the solo show on one hand, but what is exhibited in photography in Paris Photo looks amazing also. So really recommend everybody to be there. And it's a permanent walk, so it will be there all along the 4 days, if I'm not wrong. So congrats for that. Thank you, Kim. And I didn't see it so far, but I already recognize that it's a huge work, and the book, the show, the changing thing, it's something unique. So congrats for that, and thank you very much, Stefan.
Thank you very much,
for the
John.
initiative. And so for people following us, actually, so we will have a last episode about Paris Photo that will happen early next week. It will be with Nina Roers, actually, and it will be a wrap-up session, basically, on Paris Photo. So I invite you to follow this one, of course. And so have a great day, everybody, and good morning.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, see you at Paris Photo.
Happy. Good morning. Really happy. Good morning.